I don't know what to do. I do not know what to do. Okay, let me get comfortable before I go into what bombshells just got dropped on us for One Piece. If you know, then you know. If you don't know, then you don't know. But you are going to know during this video. So what am I talking about? The latest chapter of One Piece. And what information got dropped on us. This chapter needs no other words than the name of the chapter. Ultimate. Because what we got is the ultimate amount of news dropped on us. We don't get many at all. We don't get many news chapters in One Piece. But when we do, Oda makes sure that he drops the jaw of every person reading it, and that's exactly what he did in this chapter. So I'm just gonna give you guys what I think about the chapter, what bombshells got dropped in the chapter, and try to get you on the same level of shock that I'm in. Because after reading this chapter, I was shocked. I know I'm a little late on this, but I was still shocked after reading this chapter and what happened in it. So what we got announced: rocks, Garp and Roger, and bounties for all of the Yonko, dead or alive, and the bounty for Roger, the Pirate King. So we're going to touch upon that. We find out why Garp does not take recognition for some of the things that he did, and why he is actually called the hero of the Marines. So let's get right into that. So we start off this chapter with Sengoku, aka Oda, preaching the knowledge of One Piece to the Marines, us, and he's explaining to them about the story of this. Video is going to be all over the place, by the way. It's not going to be in any order. I'm going to try to explain this as best as I can without running too far off track. So Sengoku is explaining to the Marines what happened on God Valley, on Beehive Island, I think it was. No, I'm confused between those two. Did Rocks recruit? We'll touch upon that later. So he's telling the Marines this story, Oda, as Sengoku's place, telling the Marines this story about what happened 38 years ago and why Garp actually became hero of the Marines. So we find out that on Rocks' crew, he recruited Kaido, Whitebeard, Big Mom, Captain John, Silver Axe, and Shiki. We know 4 of those. Well, we know 5 of those. We haven't really seen Captain John or Wu Shang, something like that. I don't remember the last guy, and we don't know Silver Axe, but we know Shiki, Big Mom, Whitebeard, and Kaido. And now we know a little bit about Rocks. And they got together under Rocks, under his flag, under his ship, in one goal: to conquer the world, to have the world in their hands. I know that, okay, it's every villain wants to, conquer the world. Every villain wants to be big. Every villain, that's their end goal. But when you do something like this, and you are a pirate that gathers pirates of this caliber, I know they weren't as strong as they were back then, because that was already stated, they're stronger now than they are then. But when you get pirates of this caliber to do something like this, it's crazy. It's going to shake the world. So they were on an island. Yeah, this island is now known as God Valley. Garp rolls out. But maybe the Celestial Dragons were on this island. Maybe they weren't, but Garp had to protect these Celestial Dragons and from Rocks' crew. And Garp, I could just imagine Garp 1v5ing Rocks' crew. All these, well, 1v like 8ing. Everyone, Rocks, Whitebeard, Kaido, Big Mom, all of them. And then you have Roger pull up. And Roger and Garp, we find out Roger and Garp worked together to defeat the Rocks crew, and that's how Garp became hero of the Marines. So when I'm looking at this and I'm like, yo, this is crazy, because just look how strong these Yonko are in the series, and you have Garp, who was tangoing with Yonko. Well, they weren't Yonko at the time. Well, people that are just like crazy strong, and he's slapping them, and then he gets Roger to help him because he can't beat them. That just shows how strong Garp and Roger actually are, to be able to slap this Rocks' crew. And Sengoku did say Rocks is no longer in this world, so I'm assuming that they killed Rocks, because I don't really think they would take the risk of capturing him and taking him back to Marine headquarters. So I'm pretty sure they killed Rocks right there. And I know a lot of people say, oh, well, Garp and Roger probably had Marines and their crew fighting them. And I like to believe that, but I don't like to believe any Marines helped with this. I like to believe it was just Garp, Roger, and Roger's crew. Maybe it wasn't even Roger's crew. Maybe it was like Garp had this mission where, oh, transport these celestial dragons or something like this on this island, or go to this island where celestial dragons are. And Garp was like, okay, I got it, easy enough. And then Roger turned up on this island without his crew, you know, because we see Luffy without his crew a lot of times, and Garp and Roger went to work on the Rocks pirates. Maybe it was like they fathered Roger and Garp, like fathered Big Mom, Kaido, Whitebeard, and all of them, and then they tag team Rocks together, and Rocks was just that strong. But one thing I do see Roger and Whitebeard did have a good relationship, so Whitebeard and Roger probably was like, oh, no hard feelings over this, where maybe Whitebeard didn't really take place in the fight, maybe he didn't really fight full strength. Did Whitebeard have the Gorgor no Mi at this time, where like, did Kaido have his fruit? Big Mom obviously had her fruit. Did Shiki have his? So there's a lot of variables to this, but this fight was crazy. And when I mean crazy, this fight was like beyond anything I can imagine in One Piece. When we see this in a flashback, or we see this fight take place, it's going to be disgustingly amazing. And I hope they animate this perfectly, because we have one panel of Garp just sitting there with his fist covered in blood, Garp just worn torn, and you can tell Garp just went to work, and Garp was not pulling any punches. And a lot of people like to say, oh, well, Garp isn't that strong, you know, Garp is just a Marine who's really strong for clout. No, Garp actually, this proves that Garp is strong. This proves that Garp is actually a Marine that could actually do something. And I do believe, and I think Oda did say, there was something where Oda said, if Garp wasn't stopped by Sengoku, Akainu would have got one-shotted by Garp. And I do believe that after reading this, after realizing how strong Garp actually is. And there was this one thing where Luffy was like, when Garp pulled up to Water 7, no matter what you do, do not fight that man. So now we know why. We know that Garp's nasty, and that just shows how nasty Roger is. And they went up against these people without devil fruits. Maybe Roger had a devil fruit, we don't know, but Garp definitely didn't have a devil fruit, and he was slapping Rocks, what I like to believe has a devil fruit. And there's a lot of ties with Blackbeard, so maybe, well, people say there's a lot of ties, so maybe he had the darkness fruit. So did Garp and Roger tag team these like 8 people without devil fruits while protecting celestial dragons? And that's one of the reasons why Garp doesn't like to, Garp never tells people that. He's like, never, oh yeah, me and Roger worked together to take out the Rocks pirates. No, he's just like, oh, Rocks, oh yeah, he was a pirate, wrecked him. Yeah, but you know, he's gone now, he got taken down. He never likes to say that, because of, obviously you can't say, oh yeah, I worked with Gold Roger, king of the pirates, to take down Rocks. And maybe that's where the relationship went to that point where Roger was like, hey, yo, this is Garp, you know, I trust him like he's one of my own crewmates, and that's why he probably asked him to watch Ace. I can't wait to see more on this and more on their relationship, and see what they actually do together and what they actually did at God's Valley. And if you haven't read the chapter, like if your chapter is fine, go read this new chapter, because it's just amazing. I loved it. Like, I loved all that we found out here. But that's only the first half of what we found out here. What else we found out was all the Yonko's bounties. And I don't know all the bounties off the top of my head, but I'm going to put them on screen just so you guys can see them. So, the bounties are, starting with Shanks. Shanks' bounty is for, I don't really know, I'm just going to try to give the best I could. I don't remember the numbers off the top of my head, but Shanks' bounty was 4 billion. Kaido's bounty was 4.6 billion. No, that's not in order. After Shanks, it was Big Mom with 4.4 billion. Then we have Kaido with 4.6 billion. And I forgot the first one, Blackbeard's is like 2.3 billion, but no one cares about Blackbeard. And then we have Edward Newgate's bounty, Whitebeard, and we have Roger's bounty. And Edward Newgate's bounty, I think his bounty was 5.3 billion, and then Roger's was 5.6 billion. And right off the back, those are crazy bounties, like just crazy bounties. And one thing that I wanted to see was Dragon's bounty, maybe Mihawk's bounty. And I was thinking, this is just speculation and theory. You know how they say that Dragon is the world's most wanted man? Maybe he's the world's most wanted man and he has a higher bounty, but the bounties that we were shown were the highest bounties of the pirates. You know what I mean? So it's like Yonko bounties, Pirate King's bounty, but Dragon is still the most wanted man, and he has a bounty higher than that because he's targeting the world government, the Celestial Dragons. He's going right after them. So maybe he has a bounty of the most wanted man, not pirate. I don't know if that makes sense, but that's why I like to think, because I want to see Dragon be known as the most wanted man with the highest bounty. So one thing, it's crazy that we actually got to find out these bounties, and when I see stuff like that, it kind of makes me like, because I feel like One Piece is wrapping up. Like, I feel like the pacing of One Piece is going super fast at this point, but we still have a lot to touch on. I feel like One Piece could last for 10 more years. Like, I feel like we have a long way to go before One Piece ends, and I'm just so excited to see what happens with Rocks, Garp, everyone, Sword. There's so much to cover in One Piece. Oda, come on, it's not even funny what Oda does. Oda does so much, and there's so much going on that I want to find out, and I bet you guys want to find that out too. So if you guys have any theories or anything that you guys want to find out or know, or anything that I missed or you want to touch up upon, let me know in the comments down below. And with that being said, have a good day and peace.